Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Season 2 is officially here in Warzone and Vanguard, and of course with a new major seasonal update, we've obviously got plenty of patch notes to go over. We got the full patch notes for the 1.53 update, I believe it is, and today we're breaking them all down as we go through them. If you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it, and of course, if you're new to the channel or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, and right around 55% of viewers watching are not subscribed yet. So if that's you, feel free to hit that sub button, click that bell icon. That way you'll always know whenever I post a new video. But all that said, let's go through and read the Season 2 patch notes. So season launch February 14th. Call of Duty Warzone Season 2 lands with new content and quality of life improvements. Of course, we talked a lot about the QOL updates previously from our meeting with Raven earlier on last week. We got the new gameplay features with the Nebula 5 ammo and bombs. Those are coming in season. We got the bomber plane vehicle, the chem factory, and different research labs are now placed all around the map. We also have some new modes launching, and we have plenty of quality of life updates. We've got a ton of different seasonal playlists coming over the course of the next month or so. Obviously, we'll be breaking those down in the future as well, and the events sort of span out across those weeks as well, which is pretty cool. We obviously have our full battle pass. We're going to have a separate video going up on the channel about that, so stay tuned for that if you want to know all of what the battle pass includes. We've got search and deploy. The source of Nebula 5 production has been identified. Operators may infiltrate at their own risk. This event is split into several phases that will roll out across the coming weeks as said. With launch, players can expect to see the new Caldera Clash, LTM, explorable POIs, new enemy AI threats, new gameplay elements including the portable decontamination station in Nebula 5 rounds, and much more. So for modes, we've got Caldera Clash. This mode features 2 new events, double point zones and bonus point crates, which is pretty cool. We've got power zones, an event for all that can occur inside the final C domination point. All kills are worth 2 times inside of that zone. So it's basically enticing you to play the objective a little bit more there. Then point crates give you points for capturing as well. There's power-ups, contracts, buy stations, the domination capture feature, obviously, and then different POIs where obviously the gameplay will be based around. Then we also have Rebirth Iron Trials coming in season as well, and we'll cover that once the time comes, probably towards the mid-season update. Caldera Resurgence also happening in season as well. Then we've got Battle Royale adjustments. We're stripping Battle Royale down and moving back to basics for season 2. We want Battle Royale and Vanguard Royale to each have their own distinct identities. So here's an overview of the changes you can expect to see. For public events, the public events that'll be in rotation for selection are the supply choppers, the fire sale, jailbreak, and then no public events will activate during the infill scene anymore. For contracts, these will always be in the rotation: recon, bounty, most wanted, scavenger, and supply run. Then for loot, the economy is rebalanced and there's a ground weapons update. Pretty much we always see that with every single season, but the economy rebalance is a big thing. That means that we do in fact have a change to the cache. Now for Vanguard Royale, we also have changes here too. Loadout drops. Expedited the first loadout drop event from the start of the second circle to when the first circle begins to close. No stun grenades and no thermites are allowed now. For public events, the fire sale duration has been reduced. We also have that in rotation alongside jailbreak, resurgence, restock, cache drops, and then also heavy weapon drops. For loot, there's no dead silence, no stuns. Thermites were added to ground loot. UAVs were added to ground loot. There was the economy rebalance and the ground weapons rebalance as well. UAVs are actually removed from the buy station, and they're now contract rewards in Vanguard Royale. Something tells me we're probably not going to see as many players in Vanguard Royale in the coming weeks, despite that being one of the main playlists. We obviously have the chemical factory area on the map now, alongside the research labs in there as well. Then we get into the general changes. Before we dive into gameplay, specific additions and changes, we wanted to outline some stuff. An increase has been applied to weapon XP earner rates. You love to see that. That means now in Warzone, it'll be way easier to level up your weapons and a lot faster to level up your weapons. Vanguard weapons can be saved as custom mods now. Love to see that. The 5 default loadouts have been updated, and the amount of cash that players gather through loot has decreased. For gameplay updates, we obviously have the redeploy balloons. I'm very excited to try those out. We have the NPC defensive threats that are going to be around the map. The PDSs, the portable decontamination stations for the various gas effects that are going to be on the map now. The Nebula 5 rounds, which actually give the ability to leave a small gas cloud when you're firing and shooting, so that'll be an interesting gameplay dynamic. We've got the armored convoys coming in season and the Nebula 5 bombs coming in season as well. We've got the bomber plane as mentioned. Then for general changes, they changed the weapon spawns basically for everything. Dead silence is now a legendary orange loot, so it'll be a lot harder to find. I like that. Update to several modes that replaces the amount of ground loot and caches that spawn, as well as decreasing the size of plunder cache piles. And the final circle in Battle Royale is now less likely to end on Caldera's peak. Gameplay adjustments, aim assist. While stunned on controller, aim assist is not going to be ridiculously OP. We talked about this from our meeting earlier on this week. Armor plating now prioritizes refilling one full plate before you apply like the small percentages. You love to see that. Ascenders can now exit and ascender with the jump button, and added a prompt to exit while ascending. The gas mask will no longer interrupt you while aiming down sights. While the gas mask will still deplete in ADS, the animation doesn't interrupt you, and players will take damage as normal while they're in ADS without their gas mask equipped. The gasoline canister will no longer detonate when hit by a stun. It can be thrown through glass windows. Players are less likely to accidentally pick them up. I like that change a lot, and the kill damage zone was reduced. Gulag, the footsteps of spectators is less audible, another huge change there, and there's more changes coming with that. Mantling and traversal, increased mantle height for improved vertical navigation, various map improvements to aid traversal and player leading, and various improvements to visuals and texture streaming when traversing on consoles. For parachutes, they're now the same speed going forward as it is sideways, so you should be able to get across land further just by not side gliding now. You can now be pulled at a lower height and can be pulled sooner after exfilling, and now can be cut when closer to the ground. I love that change as well. Vehicle adjustments, they reduced or in some instances removed collision with various things. The fighter plane health was reduced, the weapon damage was reduced. They're no longer able to auto-target skydiving players, and collision has been adjusted as well. The anti-air guns, the flak damage was increased. All heat is cleared once the overheat has been cooled down, and heat dissipation rate has also increased. The squad transport improved handling, speed, and off-road performance. The utility truck improved speed, handling, and the ability to climb steep inclines. For UI and UX, so like all your HUD and everything there, updates to the play tab have been made. So the Rebirth Resurgence game mode is now like the squad size drop down, so that's nice. There's a prompt for dropping a single armor plate. The pause screen now has different events. The moving tram in the capital will now be shown on the TAC map, so you don't always get run over by it in case you're looking at that and suddenly it's right there. There's different control adjustments now. Added pitch up and pitch down in the keybinds for airplanes, and then in the in-match splash screens and messages, those have been disabled for spectators. For bug fixes, they fixed various collision issues, of course, fixed various issues relating to console texture streaming. That's like the demon glitch and everything like that. We've got various issues for crashing on all platforms, connectivity, voice chat stuff, corrupted graphics across platforms, operator skins appearing invisible, huge changes there. Fixed a timing issue where swapping between guns while looting would replace the gun in the player's inventory, so like YYing and whatnot. An issue that would prevent the loadout drop occurring in the 6th circle. The second loadout drop has also been moved to the 5th circle. Love to see that. An issue with the HUD in the Gulag. An issue with players returning from the Gulag with their full loadout. An issue preventing Assault Rifle Charlie from Vanguard's rapid barrel to properly adjust the recoil behavior. An issue with the Sten. An issue with the LMG Charlie from exhibiting its intended recoil behavior. The LMG Charlie, I believe, is the Bren. I have a cheat sheet of all the code names, just so we're clear. Charlie is in fact the Bren, preventing the DP-27 from exhibiting its recoil behavior. The Wellgun's iron sights from appearing in the Gunsmith. The Sawtooth Vanguard camos from appearing in the Gunsmith. They updated some rat issues as well, a couple of issues there. An issue with the Assault Rifle Charlie, that's the Cooper. An issue with the Assault Rifle Charlie from Vanguard. So if I scroll up on my cheat sheet, Assault Rifle Charlie is going to be the bar. It was incorrectly increasing damage to the head and decreasing to the body. An issue that corrects the orientation of the combat shield. An issue with weapon loot cards displaying the incorrect number of attachments. An issue with the invert mouse look for keyboard and mouse on console. An issue with dynamic resolution frame rates, and then also issues with keyboard and mouse at the buy station. So a ton of bug fixes. They also have known issues going on the Trello board, which we cover periodically. We've got our new weapons for the season, of course, so no big surprise there. For the Cooper, if you want to unlock that now, you have to get 5 or more headshots in 15 different matches with rifles. For the PTRS, you have to get 10 single shot eliminations in 15 different matches with snipers. And for the Sawtooth, you have to eliminate 5 stunned enemies in 15 different matches. For weapon adjustments, a tip for parsing the following changes. An attribute can increase and be detrimental or decrease and be beneficial. While considering the below changes, it is recommended to focus on the down from or up from language. Down from will always indicate a negative effect, while up from will always be positive. All Vanguard weapons have had their ballistic behavior adjusted to more closely match with the MW and Cold War weapons. I imagine that means that velocity was drastically increased and buffed for Vanguard weapons. So for Vanguard Assault Rifle Alpha, that's going to be the STG. The ADS speed was decreased a little bit. On the C58, they said they weren't going to adjust Cold War and Modern Warfare weapons a ton, but they did end up increasing the recoil magnitude and deviation on the C58. On the Volk, the ADS speed was decreased down a little bit, so that's going to be another slight nerf there. For handguns on the Clouser, the velocity was increased. On the machine pistol, the mid damage was increased, and then on the top break, the velocity was increased, the max damage range was increased, and then the mid damage was also increased as well, and the min damage was also increased. For the DP27, the lower torso multiplier was decreased a little bit, and then on the Bren, the left upper arm multiplier, the lower torso multiplier, and the right upper arm multiplier were all decreased there a little bit as well. For the marksman rifle, the M1 Garand, the recoil behavior was adjusted. For snipers, the 3-line, the ADS speed was decreased a little bit. The ADS movement was increased, the gun bob was decreased, the movement speed was increased, and the neck damage multiplier was increased ever so slightly. On the PTRS, the ADS speed was increased a little bit, and then on the Car 98K, the ADS speed was decreased a little bit, which is unfortunate because the car was not already the fastest ADSing sniper there was, but hey, it's some changes nonetheless. There are two parts which compromise the stats of the Car 98K, the weapon and the base optic. In the case of the Vanguard car, much of its ADS speed stats were coming from optics, which is correct. We decided to take that ADS speed and spread it out more across its attachments. The end result is more consistent range of ADS speeds that'll not vary as widely depending on the optic. Okay, so that's an interesting adjustment there. Then on the Type 99, the ADS speed was increased and the gun bob was decreased. For SMGs, SMG Charlie, it's going to be the MP40. The maximum damage range was decreased and the mid damage range was also decreased. On the Type 100, the gun kick was adjusted. Then on the well gun, the maximum damage range was decreased, as was the mid damage range. For attachments, they cleared up the pro, con, and stat bar consistencies for Vanguard attachments. For ammunition, the incendiary, the base burn damage was decreased a little bit, which is nice to see. No longer decreases damage range by 5%, which is interesting. Now decreases damage by 10%. And that's 3% for sniper rifles there. So trading damage now for damage later will have many players still equipped with the incendiary, wondering why they lost an even or slightly advantaged fight. From now, incendiary will provide a niche use on specific weapons where shots are intermittently hit or fire is unreturned. Players with above average aim will want to find a new type of ammunition, so incendiary is definitely going to be taken off of some loadouts, especially ranged ones. Lengthened, the bullet velocity was increased by 10% down from 30%, so that is going to be a pretty significant nerf to lengthen there, I'd imagine, because of the Vanguard guns getting better velocity. As a result of Lengthen's monopoly over bullet velocity on Vanguard attachments, build diversity and weapon viability has taken a hit. By shifting this bullet velocity into a wider variety of attachments, we're aiming to provide more viable builds and meaningful choices within its category. Lengthened aside, we have further changes coming to increase diversity in the ammunition category. These changes will ensure the category fulfills more of a playstyle supplemental role for builds rather than a necessary enabler. As a whole, Vanguard weapons have been lacking in velocity when compared to the competition. We felt it was necessary to provide more velocity to Vanguard weapons so they could compete more consistently in long-range engagements. To remedy this, we have added bullet velocity to most Vanguard barrels. So like I said earlier, they're increasing that, but they're going to hurt Lengthened here in the velocity there, so it's not too overpowered basically. For barrels on the 3-line, the carbine barrel was adjusted a little bit, was buffed a little bit. On the 500mm barrel, it was decreased a little bit, and the ADS speed and sprint to fire speeds are now a little bit different. It does also increase bullet velocity a bit. For the Empress, that increases velocity. The Empress 700mm now decreases ADS and movement speed and sprint to fire speed, but increases velocity. On the 700mm barrel, decreases control, increases ADS, velocity for the muzzle, and then also neck damage. Then the 820mm barrel now decreases ADS move speed and regular movement speed, but increases velocity. On the AS44, the 615mm barrel now is a little bit buffed for movement speed, for ADS movement speed. They actually also buff the ADS speed as well. It decreases hip fire accuracy and movement speed a little bit more and increases velocity more. The precision barrel now decreases ADS speed and increases velocity a little bit too. So some solid changes to the barrels already. On the STG here, Assault Rifle Alpha, the precision barrel 620mm, the recoil control was actually decreased a little bit, but the velocity was increased, and it now decreases your ADS speed a little bit more. And on the 760mm barrel, ADS movement speed was buffed a little bit, decreases ADS speed more, decreases movement speed, and the velocity increases pretty substantial at 40% there. For the ITRA, a couple of barrels changed here. The 270mm decreases ADS speed and increases velocity. And then for the 180mm, muzzle velocity was buffed slightly. For Assault Rifle Charlie, it's again going to be the bar. The 27-inch barrel, movement speed was buffed a tad bit, decreases ADS speed, hipfire speed, and movement speed, but increased the velocity there. For the 30-inch barrel, ADS movement speed was buffed and the velocity was increased. Scythe barrel also had its velocity increased. Those are the main changes we want to focus on there. For Hotel, that's going to end up being the automaton. The 620 precision barrel now ends up increasing the velocity a little bit more. For the Cooper Gracie Rapid, they nerfed the recoil control on that barrel. For the Ragdoll, the velocity was actually decreased and also hurts the movement speed more and the ADS speed. In the Cooper Custom barrel, movement speed, ADS speed, that was all nerfed there. The hipfire accuracy was also decreased, as was movement speed, but velocity is a lot better as well. For the DP27 604mm barrel, damage range was decreased a little bit. It also now decreases ADS speed more, movement speed more, and sprint to fire more. Velocity is better. Then for the 680mm barrel there, now decreases ADS movement speed, hipfire accuracy, and movement speed more. Velocity is better. For the Einhorn, there's so many weapon changes here. The Clouser Rapid Barrel damage range decreased, which is up now from 30%, so slight buff there. For the Clouser Light Barrel, damage range decreased by 8%, velocity decreased by 12%. Both of those are buffs. For the Clouser 710mm barrel, the ADS speed decreased, the ADS bloom increased, which is a good thing, I think. Now decreases ADS movement speed, now decreases movement speed. Velocity is better. G43, the precision barrel, got its velocity increased. For the PTRS, the Empress barrel has slightly better velocity, worse movement though. The Anastasia Custom has better velocity and also slightly better speed. For the car, the 660mm barrel has worse speed all across, but also has way better velocity. And the Rio 2K barrel has slightly worse velocity, actually. They nerfed that a tad bit. For LMG Charlie, this is the Bren, the 590 barrel got a slight buff to the recoil, the sustained recoil basically. The Crown barrel now decreases ADS speed but has better velocity. The Royal barrel, which is what everyone uses, now has a worse ADS speed, worse ADS movement, worse hip fire, and worse movement speed, but has better bullet velocity. Then for the Scepter, the movement speed for ADS was actually increased. The movement speed in general was also increased and better velocity was added there as well. I'm going to be honest with you, basically as we go through this, all the barrels, SVT barrel, better velocities. For the Top Break, better neck damage and better velocity. For the Type 100, 374mm barrel, worse recoil, better velocity, and then also better ADS speed. The Precision also has a better neck multiplier now, better velocity. For the Type 99, the Sniper barrel now has better velocity. For the Wellgun, the Gaiwan Short decreases velocity a little bit more now, as well as the range and the control, and the fire rate was also decreased. And then for the Shrouded barrel, the movement speed was increased, as was the ADS speed, and then the ADS movement speed was also increased, and there's better velocity there. For the 3-line, same trend continues. Bullet velocity was increased for the magazine here on the 20-round mag. For the STG, the Garanko 50, bullet velocity was also buffed a little bit there. For the Cooper Carbine, the 30-round mag, the movement speed was actually buffed a little bit. Then for the 9mm 60-round drums, the recoil control was decreased a little bit there as well. For the DP27, the 81-round pan mags, those now have worse movement speed all around. For the Einhorn, the magazine capacity was increased a little bit here for the 5-round fast mags. For the M1 Grand, the Sakura 20-round drums now have worse recoil control. For the machine pistol, the Garanko 40-round mags now have better control and better speed. For the MG42, the anti-material rounds now have worse ADS speed and worse movement speed, and the 125-round drums now have worse recoil control. For the Rat, the 12-round ACP, magazine capacity was increased. The Garanko also had a magazine capacity increase. The 9mm 16-round mags had a magazine capacity increase and some decreases to the ADS speed and general movement speeds there. For the 9mm 20-round mags, pretty much the same deal. For the SVT, the British 15-round mags now have worse control. They also decrease movement speed. The 20-round mags have worse control, better capacity, but also decrease your speed. For the 15-round fast mags, they have better ADS speed and better capacity. For the 20-round mags, better capacity and then also decrease the movement speed. For the MP40, the Garanko 45-round mags, which is what everyone ends up using, the fire rate was decreased, and then also the vertical control was decreased as well. For the Type 100, the Russian Short 36 rounds, better movement speed, better ADS speed, and for the Kurz 48, decreased the movement speed a little bit. For the Type 99, the Sakura 5-round fast mags, there were some changes made there. On the Volk, we also saw changes to the 30 and the 40-round mag with the ADS speeds. For the Wellgun, the Garanko 40-round mags, the control is going to be worse there, and for the 64-round mags, the movement speed is going to be worse. There were also some changes made to the Mercury silencer and the MX silencer, better velocity for both of those, which is actually pretty big. And then on the top break, the H1 flash hider was adjusted a little bit with control. For optics on the Car 98K, the medium telescopic sight saw some changes. And then the 2.7 times scope on the Type 99 saw some changes as well. The following Vanguard optics have had adjustments to their appearance and or behavior. This potentially includes changes to ADS speed, ADS position, and magnification level. All these optics here, you can pause and read through all of those if you so please. We also saw some changes to the rear grips. The groove grip horizontal was recoil control was decreased. Polymer grip, the sustained accuracy was decreased a little bit. For the Type 99, the fabric grip ADS was increased, and on the Volk, the fabric grip ADS was also increased. For stocks on the 3 line, the Empress Marksman movement speed was actually buffed a little bit. For the MG42, the VDD64 had several changes made there. The Owen gun, for the folding stock, the ADS speed was buffed, the movement speed was buffed, so was the sprint to fire. The remove stock now has more recoil. For the Type 99 on the remove stock, that actually has a better ADS speed now. For underbarrels, we're getting close to the end, I promise. On the hand stop, the horizontal control and the vertical control was actually decreased. And then for Assault Rifle Alpha, the STG, the Carver foregrip now has worse control for vertical control there. And then on the Type 99, the skeletal now has a slightly worse ADS speed. For operators, we of course have Anna Drake available at launch. We also have Thomas Bolt and Gustavo dos Santos coming in season. Then for the download sizes to wrap things up here, 14 gigs on PlayStation, 13.7 on Xbox. PC will be between 11 and 15.5. So many patch notes, so many weapon changes. It's going to be a little bit to figure out, what these changes are going to do to general gameplay here. But with all that being said, that is effectively everything that ended up changing in today's update, in the Season 2 update, and that's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed, let me know by dropping a like on it. And of course, if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, news, updates, loadouts, tips. You'll find it all right here, so feel free to subscribe with your notifications turned on. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.